Hi everyone! Today I will be reviewing one of my favorite luxury tote bags. I am really more of a tote bag girl. I do have a few crossbody types and other types of handbags, but totes seem to work for me very well because I tend to carry a lot of stuff with me on my daily basis to work or when I go out, and especially since I have a toddler right now, I love carrying everything with me. It's just so convenient. So the bag that I'm going over today is none other than, you can see, a Goyard tote bag. This is the packaging that it came in, and it came in this beautiful yellow canvas cover in this beautiful yellow color. And the bag that I'm going over is the very popular St. Louis bag, and it is right here. This is in the PM size and in the color black. I've actually had this bag for quite a long time. I've purchased it back in September of 2017, and at that time it was running for $1,200 retail price USD. And right now I believe if you try to go to the Goyard boutique, this exact bag would be about $1,650 for this in this size. And if you choose a color option, it does increase even more, even if it's in the same size. For some reason, maybe the way that it's made, color is more labor intensive or more in demand, but in the black color it is slightly cheaper. So after having used it extensively for almost 6 years, I can say that I do really love this bag. I don't baby my bags. I really just toss them around in my car everywhere I go, and it does hold up except for a few corner wear and tears. So first off, I'd just like to go over, I guess, the dimensions or the sizing of this PM bag. I won't give you exact dimensions because that's something that will be online and easy for you to look up, but just for reference, I feel like it's better to show a size reference. What I have here with me, my Louis Vuitton Neverfull in the MM size, and if I put the St. Louis PM in front of it, it really kind of looks about the same size. But if I do side by side like this, to be honest, the Neverfull MM is a lot bigger. Just the sheer height of this Neverfull MM is so much bigger than the St. Louis PM. It's so hard for me to show you. I'm sorry about that. But as you can see, the base of the Neverfull MM is wider than the St. Louis PM size, and it's also taller. The Neverfull MM is taller than the St. Louis PM size. So you can definitely fit a lot more in the Neverfull MM than the St. Louis PM size. And another bag I have for reference here, which is a very popular bag, is the large Longchamp size. And if I grabbed these St. Louis PM side by side, you can see the St. Louis PM is definitely a little bit smaller. It will not hold as much as the large. I would say that the St. Louis PM is a little bit more comparable to the Longchamp medium size, and it's bigger than the Louis Vuitton PM size, which is, if you've ever seen it, it's quite small. I wouldn't really make that my everyday tote personally because I do carry so much. So when I purchased this St. Louis PM bag back in 2017, it came with this internal pouch. It's locked in here on the handle. You can't remove this part of the handle from the bag itself because the leather is really just strapped in here. It's stitched in, but you can remove this pouch from the bag by unhooking this clasp. There you go, you can remove this pouch. And this pouch has one internal pocket inside with a button closure, and then on the back it has a nice, very spacious pocket. I use this even if I'm not using the St. Louis on a daily basis. I will take this out and I'll put this in every bag that I use because I love putting my coupon cards in here. This is something that I kind of use almost like a second wallet, and I carry this everywhere with me. Going back to the bag itself, it's just a very large coated canvas bag. The handles are made out of leather, pure leather, and this trim on the top is also made out of leather. Inside is just canvas, the same. This is uncoated canvas in this light color. And I love that the inside is this bright canvas color rather than continuously black, because if you've ever used and owned a tote, you know that having an inside that is brighter helps you find your items better. So that really helps when I'm trying to like dig in this tote for something that I can just easily find because it's so bright inside. Other than that, it doesn't have any other pockets with the bag. It's just, like I said, just this big floppy tote. Also, as to what can fit inside the St. Louis PM bag, you can fit a laptop of pretty much almost any size, but honestly I don't recommend you doing so because it's such a flimsy bag that if you place your laptop in, it will most likely just topple over or crumble underneath the weight because there's nothing keeping it structured for it to stand. I guess if you don't mind that it will fall and topple over, it can fit, like I said, almost any size laptop. It's pretty spacious inside. You can fit just all your possessions for the day, a small jacket or like a cardigan, your makeup, anything. Water bottles I think will be more than fine because water bottles can stand on their own weight and they can just sit in here in their own weight and it will stay up. But anything of a different type of shape or size, it'll probably just topple over. I think this is really just good for light items like your toiletries or just like something that doesn't really have a lot of shape that will kind of give this bag a shape and help it stand because the outside is just so flimsy. So that's something to think about if you were thinking about using this as a laptop bag or anything of that sort for work. And I love this black color because it really goes with everything. You can be wearing any kind of outfit and it really just goes with anything. You can dress this up or down, use this as a work bag, and it's perfect. Moving on to the handles. They're very sturdy. I haven't noticed any kind of cracking. I did read a lot on like the purse forum that the St. Louis PM or the St. Louis quality of Goyard is terrible and that you'll eventually see cracking here, but I haven't really seen it at all. It's been very sturdy. The only thing that I don't like about the Goyard PM, this PM size, is that the handle drop is quite short and I myself am very petite. I'm 5'2", so even for me when I want to wear this on my shoulder, as you can see, it's like very up to my armpit area. So when I'm wearing this like this, it's just kind of like hard to get on and off because it's just, it feels like it's like riding up my armpit, as opposed to the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. For comparison, if I grab both, you can see that the Neverfull strap drops more than the St. Louis. This might be a little easier to see. As you can see, the Neverfull MM strap is so much taller than the St. Louis PM. So one thing that I prefer for the Neverfull MM is it's so much easier. There's a bigger space, so much easier to grab and go. That would be one of the cons for me about this bag, is the handle strap. I wish it was longer, just by, even if it was like half an inch longer, I think it would really make this that much more comfortable. But maybe what I'm really looking for is the GM size, which is larger. Maybe in the future I will go for the GM size because the handle strap was probably a lot bigger, but the GM size is really big. These bags were meant to be like beach bags, so that GM size is kind of huge, and I don't know if I want like a very large gaping bag in that size. The next con that I would like to talk about is the overall quality of this bag is kind of not the best, I would say. Honestly, maybe it's because I don't take care of my purses very well and they just kind of get thrown around. But there is a lot of corner wear. I don't know if this is showing up on the camera. There's a lot of corner wear. That's one corner wear. Here's another one. Just kind of like, these corners are really beat up. The paint is chipping here. That kind of is bothersome because as a tote bags are usually supposed to be very sturdy, right? They're supposed to carry everything in the kitchen sink. And because of the nature of a tote bag is usually pretty large, it will probably bump into a lot of things and get scuffed up. So I kind of didn't like how the quality of the bag, the canvas and the coating was not really up to par. But I kind of knew that going in because a lot of people who own this bag on the purse forum did already give warnings like it does have these issues plus the cracking of the handles, which I have not encountered the cracking yet, but I'm probably expecting to. And because of these quality issues, after about 3 years of owning this bag, I kind of really put this bag on the shelf and stopped really using it because I was scared it was going to keep getting more and more damaged from just wear and tear. So that is something to keep in mind. Moving on to the pros of this bag, I think this bag is so beautiful. The time that I bought it, it was a little bit more understated than the Louis Vuitton bags. If you saw this bag, this was very, very just everywhere. Everyone was wearing it, so I wanted something a little bit different, and this bag was not as common at the time. I see this bag a lot more often nowadays, so I can't really say that this is more, I guess, understated and unique, because I feel like if you're into luxury, you will know what this is. And another thing that I love about this bag is that it's very beautiful. The artwork on the bag is so lovely. It doesn't like scream, even though it says Goyard in some of the corners. It doesn't scream too loudly. If you weren't into luxury at all, you would just think this is a pretty cool pattern bag. There was even someone at my work when I wore this to work one day, and he's not into luxury at all, and he was like, I really like that pattern on that bag. It's like a really cool pattern. I was like, right? It's really, really pretty and really, really cool. My last major pro of this bag is that it's extremely light and very, very moldable. I like bags that are very squishy and kind of mold to your body. So for instance, when you put this on and you squish it, it just kind of like collapses completely. And I really love that type of purse. I know there's many of you out there who prefers more structure, but for me, when it's a tote, I kind of want it to sit really flush against my body, and this bag does that. And like I mentioned, it's very, very, very light. It almost feels cheap because it's so light. Like if you've ever held a Neverfull, it's got some weight on here. I don't know what kind of canvas that they're using on here, but I do feel like the canvas on a Neverfull is so much thicker, heavier, and more sturdy than whatever canvas they're using on this Goyard tote. It's definitely just miles of difference of thickness and quality, or maybe not quality, but just thickness that's used in the Goyard. And I actually like that about the Goyard because it's just beautifully collapsing and you can just put things in there and squish it against your body, because I don't really like bags that kind of like jut out, especially since I'm a little smaller. If it's too big and it kind of juts out too much, I feel like it just looks overwhelming on my body. If I were to lose this bag at this day and age, or if something were to happen to it, would I buy this bag again? And the answer is yes, I would. Even though I purchased this in 2017 for $1,200 before tax, and now it's about $1,650 before tax, I would still go out and purchase this bag, maybe even in a different color. I really, really like this bag, even though there's those quality issues. I feel like if you are the type of person that takes care of your purses, then you probably won't run into those quality issues. I'm very happy with this purse, and I love this color in this colorway, and I would say that if you are looking for a Goyard St. Louis bag and thinking that you would like to try one, I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. Another thing to note is that I believe in Southern California, even now, the only Goyard boutique that you can go in and purchase from is at Rodeo Drive. That is where I purchased this bag, and when I went in, when that boutique opened and I went in, the sales associate had told me that you can actually order through the phone, because if you've ever been to their website, you can't order online. Their social media presence and online presence is a little bit toned down to a lot of other luxury brands like Louis Vuitton. You can order pretty much everything from their catalog online as long as it is in stock. But with Goyard, they don't even have their prices on there. I went to go check the price of this bag on Goyard's website. It wasn't even listed on there, so I had to do some research. I was told that if I wanted this, I didn't have to drive all the way there to get it. I could have just called them and made an order over the phone, so that's something to think about. But I will say, if you are a little bit hesitant on this bag and you're not 100% sure that you want to pay so much for something, I will say that it will really help for you to try this in person. I think people who are looking for really, really good quality canvas, something very sturdy, you might be a little bit disappointed in this bag because it's so flimsy. So definitely trying it in person will be very good for those of you who feel that way, and those of you who don't really care and think this bag is really good quality and and you may have held it from your friends or family, you can just make a phone call to the Goyard and they can just ship it to you. So that's something cool that I might try next time, but I feel like I want to see the different colors in person because I am interested in the green color. I think that one's really popular. If you've ever seen that on resale, it's for some reason way, way more expensive than all the other colors, and I think it's because it's really beautiful and popular. Another color that I love is the yellow. It's such a bright, just screams like spring, summer, and I think it will even look really beautiful in the winter time. Overall, I think this bag is absolutely an amazing purchase. I know there are some luxury bloggers who hate this bag and think it's their worst purchase ever, but for me, it's one of my favorite purchases ever, and I even sometimes prefer it to the Neverfull because of the pros that I mentioned. Let me know what you guys think about this bag. Is it on your list, your radar for getting it, or is this something that you are not interested in? If you have one, I would love to hear if you have any quality issues that I mentioned, or is yours just absolutely fine. That would be lovely to hear. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!